I can't help it.
Hello, welcome
beautiful.
back.
The worst.
Talking about beautiful, time for another hour of Jarviskjir. Are you going to try and break
Yeah.
someone out of prison? What is he doing? Is he...
He was doing this.
Okay.
He's
So,
trolling.
don't make fun of Erin. I have to put up with her a lot more time in the week than most of you.
It's
So,
true.
don't piss her off. She'll lightning bolt me
Penny.
on Friday.
No, but surely that means for us that is a motivation to piss her off because then you'll have to
It's
put up with it.
Friday comes. I show up at the party. Like, why? I don't know. Felt like it. Sorry.
So, they leave to ride back to the city. While Dean faces over there. What was that? Was there a reason for that?
That was me looking at the face I pull, and I'm like, what's the strangest I can pull in this instance? It's a little game I play with myself.
I'm
sorry.
aware. I don't always catch
I
it,
wanna know
but
what
I
you
catch
play
it way more because you're higher up than normal. Usually you're at the bottom of a screen, but now you're on
Been
top.
promoted.
Yeah, you're my top man.
Now we only get like your lower half of your face. And
That's
your
not what I
nips.
meant, but okay. So while they ride off, it's actually at the dinner service. So you go do a bunch of mining at the prison, as you do. Actually, here's a question, and I figure Altis works hard. Ellis, you work hard too, or do you slack?
I would work hard when I'm being watched. If I'm not being watched, I would be just glaring at guards' backs and being a bit lazy.
You're not always being directly watched. It would be one of those things where you could quite easily take it easy sometimes, and then hear them coming and work.
Yeah.
This is like, no, you swing the pick like this.
Do you want to play Altis? Should we swap?
Yeah, we could. No, you can't play a bard in 2 sessions.
Yeah, you can.
Not fair.
Not fair. It's during the dinner service where you actually you're not feeling too terrible because you kind of slack a little bit, Ellis. But also you're trying to keep track of the guard schedules and all that sort of good stuff.
That's when your knees get broken.
This isn't the sort of thing I'm good at. Not the sort of thinking I'm good at.
I know, it's great. It's actually not the guards that come up to you. It's the wolf, the dwarf, who comes up with a couple of goons, and you're sitting at a wooden
Clowns.
table eating slop. It's not the same slop as last time. It tastes a little more lamby. And he puts a leg on the bench opposite, and is just like,
That's a low bench.
it's a lot of dwarves here. So yeah, it's a low bench. Your legs are out. So you can't. You were trying to find an inconsistency. I had it explained. Don't fuck with Jarviskjir. It all makes sense in the end. Hashtag everything's connected. Anyway, he comes up and just so you have a little bit of attention around you.
I would just be sort of stop eating, just glance up at him, yeah, what of it?
Why are the guards so interested in you? Why is someone pointing down from the tower? When someone points down from the tower, there's a crossbow bolt to the thighs. It's just a moment after it. I've been here for over 50 years. I've never seen them not fire.
I'd like to ask the same question myself. My guess is they're working to get me out, but I don't have any more info on that than you do, mate.
I was gonna make you do a deception roll, but straight up do a persuasion roll. You're just oh no, that's my friends.
Well, I'm not going to say
friend.
that.
No, I know.
Come on, I'm not.
I know. It's funny though.
Persuasion, yeah. Not that I'm
persuasion.
any good.
No, he's my mate. I was round this.
Oh,
Wednesday.
whoa.
You expect me to believe that? You expect us to believe that someone's going to break you out of this place?
Hey. I never said break out.
The 2 goons step either side of you and Altis. And they just remove their knuckles.
Look,
Is he still slopping away? Just
At this point, she would just look up at him and sigh and be like, "Are you happy throwing your weight around like this? You've been here. You just said 15 years.
Oh
You
yes,
happy?
I'm very
Try to-
happy, boys.
Rather than trying to get out,
Well, they're doing attack rolls.
oh come on!
Yeah. He's just like, yes, very happy, and they're attacking you. So give me a second.
Thank you, Nat One. Thank you.
Yeah. Why you think? If you were trying to work out like why would this happen to me, this is why.
It's because you have the luck of an Arvine.
Yeah.
I just want to eat my beef slop.
Beef slop.
Colloquially
is
known
gonna-
as slop.
You have no armor on right now, so immediately, like you're talking, and then it's just a wither to the side of the face. It deals no, Ellis deals
okay,
a whopping 3 damage. You're attacked at the same time, Altis, because you two sit together and hang out together.
Altus, you should beat him to death with that stew bowl.
We had an unarmed attack with a sandwich earlier, and the other guy does the same thing. They're at the same time to do the punch just right to the side of the face. Roll me initiative.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised they got stealth rolls there. I suppose it was the power of the one.
It was the power of the one.
Yeah, power of the one. The power of the one and
The
three.
power of.
Power of my
We went in
love.
very different directions with that.
You did.
The power of love. I'll give one for the wolf, but he's probably not gonna do much. Goons. Add. And we do some rolls. Addis, it's your turn. You get punched. You're eating your slop, happy as can be. You love dinner slop. They get you just a slightly bigger serving. You get punched.
I was just eating my slop, happy as canned beef, and you've hit me. I will just swing left fist into the guy to my right, I guess.
Yeah, the guy is
I
attacking.
wanted him to like snap a length of the table off. Jab the sharp splintered end
I
into
was
his
wanting
side.
him to like lift up the table and smack him.
No, feel free. Roll it. Yeah, absolutely. Roll
Big
damage.
and hairy, tightly packed bundle of bones.
Whew.
Ooh.
You fucking. This is a gut punch, right? Yeah. He's just like a. And roll me an athletics roll because you have Tavern Brawler. So. Un momento while I roll their athletics.
What does Tavern Brawler do,
Why don't
young
you
Oliver?
click the button in there, Altis? If you click the speech bubble next to Tavern Brawler, it will show us. Ta-da. You punch him and then just grapple him to the ground, assumedly for more punches later on.
Yeah.
He's just completely winded, so you just like barrel all your weight into him after the punch, and he goes down like a sack of slop.
Altus is like, you're my bitch now.
After that,
It's a prison, right?
Yeah, it's a prison. After that is Ellis.
I'm kneeing this guy. I would like just look to the side, just glare at him for a moment, look to the side, spit out a bit of blood, and then I'm gonna knee this guy in the balls.
The guy that punched you or the wolf?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna knee the guy that punched me in the balls. +3.
Yeah, good. You have a, what is that, plus, what's your plus strength?
That's my strength.
Yeah.
Plus
Okay, so that absolutely hits. You just knee him in the balls. He's lifted up by the fucking force of it. Oh yeah, it's not pleasant. All the men cringe in unison. Because you don't have Tavern Brawl, you don't get to roll your damage, unfortunately. But he is. Actually, I'm gonna roll to see if he's stunned. 'Cause he was kicked in the nads. Don't expect me to do this very often. Nah, he's okay. This is a prison. He's been kicked in the nuts a lot.
There was a mechanic for it in Pathfinder.
Testing.
Good. Action surge, you're gonna punch again.
He doesn't go down to that, so I will just punch him in the side of the head, or attempt to anyway.
You should have bitten his ear off.
Bite your ear off.
I'd have already gone for these moves. I'm clearly
Yeah,
just like
easy punch.
violent.
You're just twisted.
You guys are like having stand-up fisticuffs. Well, not quite with kneeing in the balls. But like, I'd be like, "Argh!"
So you punch this guy in the side of the head again. He does the same thing as you, where he just like spits out blood. He's like, "All right, welcome to Wellwall," and then gets ready to just full-on fight you. While this is going on, Wolf, the dwarf, just straight walks away. In fact, he's like walks just into the crowd that's starting to form, just whoosh, poof, like Kaiser Soze, gone.
As people say, like a wolf in the trees.
As Altis says. And then the goons get
Like
their
a
counter.
wolf in the trees.
This dude straight punches back at old Ellis.
Just got deja vu. It's always with fistfights in prisons.
You get deja vu?
Yeah, I don't know why. It's
Just time in the juvie. I guess.
This
no,
is
it's like deja vu of a dream or something.
It's a sort of grazing hit. You manage to you probably stand up from the fucking bench at this point, Ellis, because the brawl's starting, and he just manages to clip you, and he kind of like ends up getting you more with the elbow than the fist, and does do 3 damage. Of course, you're a level 3 adventurer. You have a lot of health. That's not
you
entirely.
need an
troubling.
improvised weapon.
And then
Like a
after that, the guy who Altis grappled straight up like fumbles inside his tunic, because you have like threadbare rags on, and does get to make an attack at you, although with disadvantage.
What's he fumbled for?
And you manage to notice before he gets it off, he actually has a stone shiv that he's carved from the
shit.
mine. You manage to like grab it and push it away from you before he gets it into your gooey parts. But that's what he was trying to go for. Luckily, you're holding him on the ground, so there's no problem. Altis, fight back.
Oi, you cheater! And I'm gonna take my fist into a gavel formation and drive it down onto his base.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Things break.
Yep.
Is that... take a look at the formula it's using. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have proficiency. So you punched this guy, he is out cold. He was like struggling to shiv you, and then you're like, donk, and his head crunks up against the wooden floor and just
It's like da-dunk.
yeah, he's just out cold. His tongue like lolls out and everything.
Action surge to hit him again.
Okay.
He dead.
Yeah. 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 You hit him just again in the head, and you just see like just blood ooze from parts. Altis doesn't necessarily pay much attention to it. There's blood coming out of him. He just starts like he was like out cold. Now he's like choking on his own blood on the ground. Ellis.
Good.
So the bench and table, are they all one thing? How big
No,
are
they're
they?
2 different things. They would be around 7 feet long.
That's going to be difficult to lift.
Possible though.
Possible. I have a decent athletics mod. The question is, okay, would it be 2 turns or 1 turn to try and slam the dude's face into the bench? Because would it be a grapple and then an attack, or would it?
I'll allow you to just do it as an attack. You're essentially attacking him with the bench.
Yeah.
What you could do is stamp on the middle of the bench and snap it in half.
Yeah, but that's going to be
Time.
again. That's not going to be easy.
Give me it's this roll. That's absolutely fine. Roll me a d4 plus your strength. Altis is praying because he's just killed the guy in a prison fight.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, you slam this guy's head into the bench. Are you going for the kill, or are you just trying to knock him out?
I'm trying to knock him out. I'm not stupid enough to try and kill him out while in prison for murder.
You just slam him, and you feel the satisfying sensation of like a man in your hands going unconscious. Just you had your hand in the back of his hair. You smash him into the table. He just like flops onto the ground.
Alice enjoys the feeling of a man in her hands flopping.
Yes. What's wrong with that? And he is out cold. At that time, both of the goons are out cold, and probably while you stand up, the guards have come over at this point, and they don't even have their weapons out yet. They're just like, "Come with us."
And this would just like sort of look at the two on the floor, look back at the guys, like, oh, they started it, and then follow them.
Don't give a fuck. Come on. Altis, how many times has it been this month?
More than one.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it has. And they just start like walking you around while someone goes and takes care of the guy that's like convulsing on the ground. They bring you into the dormitories. They go past it. You are you see an area with actually a prisoner you've never seen before. Just really fucking jacked looking Goliath. And Goliath are usually pretty jacked. This guy's like, he could take up the entire corridor.
Like he's wearing armbands.
Like he's wearing armbands. And they put Addis. There's holes in the wall that are basically like the exact sizes of an average human body. You know, they put Aldous in one, Ellis in the other. And it's like, well, maybe you'll learn your lesson. And they just shrug, and then they nod to the Goliath, and he just starts pushing big stone slabs over your the doorways. And you're
well, if it's normal size, normal amount of space for an average human, I've got
no,
a bit
not
of
a normal, not a normal amount of space for an average human. The size, the size of a normal human.
I would have a bit of leg room.
And it's not like a room for you to lay down; it's a room for you standing.
Yeah, but it's still, I've got a bit.
You
more
still have a
room
little
than-
bit more space because you're small, but
Yeah.
still.
It's like Miss Trunchbull's jerky.
Excuse me? What were any of those words?
You never seen Matilda or read Matilda?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
They're covered.
Fuzzed completely fuzzed me.
Yeah, I
and
might at least be able to stretch a little bit.
Anyway, you get put in the small hole, and that's the end of that. So the next day,
I wanted to talk to the damn wolf as well and try and get him on side, and then I rolled a fucking nat 1 when he comes over. I was like, when he came over, I was like, yes, he's come over. Oh shit!
Ian, do you want me to give you some advice?
Don't roll nat 1s.
Stop rolling like you're you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to give me your luck, Neil, please?
No.
no.
Spent a
I
long
can't do
time
that.
taking your luck, Ian.
Yeah.
This is hard bought.
So you the next day, Ross and Adri, unaware of the little scuffle that went on, make it back to Northenden, and I imagine
Ross
you start
and Adri.
heading.
What a
I'm sure they're
pleasant
fine.
breakfast we had this morning. What a good night's sleep.
I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
Oh.
You like roll over and say, "Did you get a nice sleep?" And you're like, "Oh, wait a minute." She
Like,
didn't.
I don't sleep.
Wait, he rolls over next to her. What are you
They're
implying?
camping.
It's
Imagine they're camping
it's
fairly
like in
nearby.
eyesight, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
Alright.
you
She
implying,
can
Dean?
she can be his like great grandmother. I don't think. Adri
Right,
is
exactly.
interested in that. In the other
Well, I'm not
session that you
implying
weren't
it.
in, he was pretending to be her son.
Yeah.
It'd be weird now, or would it? Anyway, you make it back to Northenden. I
Anyways.
imagine you start going right back to the palace. This isn't Game of Thrones.
Scott was my daddy.
I assume you head to the palace to sort out this whole mess
We did.
with
Yeah.
lies. Okay, so you head to Northenden Palace. Northenden Palace is I've already described Northenden. I described it a lot last session as there's this upside down Y-shaped river that runs through the city. In the middle of the bit where all the river lines line up is a palace in on a rocky precipice. Beautiful place, bridges leading all the way there. It's not like it's hard to get to. You can walk in, because the lower floors are entirely open to commoners. You're not even asked why you're there, because you kind of look like you belong. You can even stable up your horses near it and everything. And I imagine you're starting to look around the place. It's pretty impressive. There's a room you can see from the way you enter, like a huge hall that just has giant, like, 2-story tall statues in it. And like nothing else. It's just like, this place is showy. And it seems to be the place where lots of noble folk are hanging out and getting ready for any sort of conversations you need to have. Because you're actually here fairly early in the morning just because of the way that you've traveled. Go ahead and give me investigation rolls to find the place you want to find. Or persuasion, I guess, if you want to try just straight ask people.
That's too metagamey. I will investigate.
Wow. All right.
One time Aaron
Stop
rolls
stealing
something
my
good.
luck.
Aaron rolls something good this session, and then you're like, no, wait a minute, I can do one better. Watch.
That was
Okay.
Ian's net 20 right there.
So with that, crit, you absolutely find a way through the sort of the legal departments which deal with the crimes in the city. You find, again, it's actually very it's the same sort of scribes wearing the same sort of uniforms that you saw in that guard tower, because it's the same people. Not exactly, but it's the same job. They're the ones dealing with everyone, and you do see people that you can assume are judges and that sort of thing who are overseeing cases. You come up and you immediately find just the perfect person to talk to, a very friendly human woman who's just absolutely accommodating. It's like, oh, you're looking into a case for your aunt? Oh, well, I hope we can sort it out for you, sir. That'd be lovely. You're gonna have to give me the name, and then we can look it up in our records. And there's like loads of books and things, and all.
The name is Ellis Greyharbour?
Ellis Greyharbour. I was only a few days ago. I actually remember that. Nasty business.
Yes, well, I'm hoping it's all a misunderstanding.
And then she like goes and gets it. It's essentially the same paperwork that you saw before. Actually, it probably is the same piece of paper you saw before. In fact, you know it is, because the dwarf you were talking to stamped it afterwards to show that it was looked at again. But there's some other papers that are far more about, okay, they're at Wellwall. There's more information about
Evidence.
the
Date of...
The person they killed, not where the evidence, but the date, but the person, the gnome, and that sort of thing, and who's investigating the case. And it says who's investigating the case? No one. There's just an empty spot. And you can kind of connect the dots pretty easily. It's like, yeah, she was found with a head. They don't really care now. The next spot, like this is also the woman explaining, just to speed things up. The next step in most of these cases would be, do we want to do any more? But she's already going to be in Wellwall for the rest of her life. They actually don't need to do anything more. Northern isn't all about executing people unless there's a really fucking good reason to execute someone. Like straight up treason, or you've murdered someone super important, or you did something really, really bad. So, yeah, she is... that's kind of what you find on the paperwork there. The woman's like, is there anything else you need? Did you need to do more than just look at it? What?
Well, actually, I was wondering whether there was anyone who'd recognized the head.
I don't really know what they would have done with it, to be entirely honest, sir. Usually they burn things like that. Well,
that seems quite peculiar to me, to burn such a key piece of evidence.
I think when evidence is a body part of a living being, I think maybe protocol is followed less directly to give more respect to the dead deceased.
I see. So now we have no idea who the deceased is.
There was a sketch of the head before it was burnt.
Sketch?
Well,
a sketch that will do.
Yes. As she, like she has the box here, and she finds it, and you recognize, not recognize the sketch, but like it's clearly the sketch of the same guy. Admittedly, a head after a few hours of being decapitated. doesn't look exactly the same, but is the gnomish individual with the goatee and all that sort
May
of
I
thing.
have a piece of parchment and a pen, please?
Oh, of course. Is Quill okay?
Yes.
You handed all the stuff that you need to do.
Traditionally trained.
What are
other
the
thing-
alternatives? Just curious.
There are
Again,
pens!
Like, what are the alternatives?
There are pens.
Pens?
Pens
Cool.
exist in some places of the world. Gnomes make pens. Also, you could just straight up use a thing of charcoal, like most dwarves would do, or a paintbrush. I straight up said earlier that dwarves use paintbrushes to make. Or
I was
magic.
wondering. Very cool.
Hashtag everything's connected. But also, you note that there is in these documents. She says while you're doing this. With a letter, basically these documents, copies of these documents were sent off to Wellwall with them, but they come back afterwards. And she shows you, like, there's an envelope in the box that has, like, a broken seal of the Northenden guard. And she says, oh, all the cases that go off to any of the prisons in the land, they follow a similar protocol.
What would that be?
Well, we send the letter off with them with their crimes, and if they're expected to return or how long they're going to be there. Some crimes, I mean, if you only are arrested for stealing someone's sweet roll, then you're only going to be in there for a few months. But
A few months?
did you say like that's a lot? It's just like, well, you've got to learn, but there's no. You can see there's no release date on here, and actually, you two can give me perception rolls. Yes.
Struggling to find perception. Always a good start to any perception roll.
Is this? So there's a thing with Neil in D&D, okay? When Neil plays a session that's mostly just with one person, he steals their luck. He just steals it, and he gets luckier. So, and Aaron's already unlucky, and I'm worried that this is just gonna happen. You notice, Ross, that the seal, the wax seal, it's in this room. She had it like this is the desk where these papers were probably refinalized and then sent off. Well, not this desk, but this is the room, because it's like a big open room with all the books and things in the middle, and then several desks and stuff outside are going around it. You can see the seal that seals these envelopes. There's quite a few of them. The wax is, in typical Northern fashion, kind of a bronzish color, so it's probably like a sort of brown wax with actual glitter in it to make it sort of be bronzy. You can see that as well. Like, you could... Obviously, your brain goes if you wanted to falsify documents.
These documents, are they the originals? Are there any copies made ever?
As far as I know,
if I
these
was to-
must be the originals, because they get sent off and then they get sent back. And I'll be entirely honest, sir, although I know this is your family member, this isn't the highest priority of the guard right now.
Yes,
so that's when
yes.
more documents would be needed, if more eyes needed to see it.
I see. Well, I'm going to make a copy of this sketch. Why don't you have a seat? It'll take me a little while. I'm very accurate. You see, I was traditionally trained. I've got to do it in the right way, step by step. So just have a seat. I'll be a minute. Like motion to one of the nearby seats. And then when she sits down, I'm going to cast sleep on her.
She's not the only person in the room.
Oh, isn't she?
This is a big office with other clerks and things, but you're the only...
Where's the nearest person?
You're the only people on, like, this side of the room. This is a huge room. Dwarves, if they make a room for a purpose, like, in most places, like,
I'm still going to cast sleep on her. It's fine.
The other people on the other side of the room, they will have perception checks to see what goes on. But yeah.
Oh, I can just
roll
try and distract them.
It's a bit
21
late.
hit points.
He was a bit fast on the gun. But if you want to do a distraction now, as you see him cast sleep.
Will offer my services as a bounty hunter. And see
you'll
if they need
straight
any help.
You'll straight go over and be like, I'm a
over
bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Go
if you are unable to find any help here, as we are, by the way, I may help you outside the law.
Go ahead and give me a deception roll. Even though it is the truth, you're trying to be
I
distracting.
know, I'm really bad at this.
Okay.
Also.
She falls at you, like, she sits down and is like, oh, okay, you sure you don't want me to get you any kind of...
just the cricket. You sure you don't want me to get cricket splat on face?
Oh, dear.
Okay. You're trying to convince these guys. There's only 2 of them who are paying any. There's only 2 other people in the room, and they're on the other side of the room. The chances of them seeing is very low, very low.
I think you killed me.
Here's a nat 20.
Solo.
One of them's like, "Oh, you're a bounty hunter. That's very interesting. You know, from the Dwarven lands, we have a lot of bounty hunters. That's a very provided position. We might actually be interested in that. You know." There's lots of jobs in the palace for a bounty hunter. I mean, honestly, some of the knights are just glorified bounty hunters. You might even get a statue, and he's actually maybe trying to flirt a little bit.
I see that's a dig at me.
Maybe trying to flirt a little bit.
Interesting.
And then the other guy in the room is not listening, and he's like turns around and goes like, Heather, I need a... Heather.
What's
and then
wrong?
he like walks over.
She seems to have passed out. Is she okay? Check her pulse.
Give me the
Oh, no,
biggest
Heather.
deception roll in your life.
All I need for him is to go to check the pulse, and then I cast sleep on him, and he goes thud on top of her.
What the fuck is going on?
Give me a
What are you
deception
doing,
roll.
Heather?
Give me a deception roll.
Can I also? I will do this.
You
I
can
also...
cast sleep on him if this passes enough for him to actually look and not immediately notice what's going on. I am rolling against this in this situation.
That's fair.
This is like in Metal Gear when you choke out every guard in the same spot and you've just got like 4 NPCs unconscious. It's like
He's like, well, I know that narcolepsy runs in her family, and maybe and he goes over and checks her pulse. Roll sleep. 21 again. He's like, well, this is very, and just and he like rolls off the chair onto the ground, kind of bumps the table a little bit, and the things on the table jiggle a bit. But the other guy is just like not. Is like, oh, don't worry about Heather. Narcolepsy runs in her family, and just keeps talking to you about. So what's the biggest thing you've ever killed? I've been on a boar hunt. Once killed a dire boar. Very like.
A diabor.
He's
Oh,
gone. Ross, what are you doing?
So first off, I need to take that one bit of paper that I need, which has the release date on it.
Yes.
I'm going to pen in 2 days' time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I shall seal it up in a new envelope.
Will you say like this has been changed? Because they've already got this paperwork before. So if you just go back
yes,
with it, that'd be like that's weird because it usually comes with the prisoner.
I will put changed on order of the Lady Regent after consultation with the Regalum family, updated by scribe Heather.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a. I think forgery is sleight of hand.
yeah, betrayal. Heather's losing her job.
Sorry.
Have you ever seen Mr. Robot? After the first season of that, there was a similar situation where a whole plan
Please
revolves
give me your
around
luck
fucking
now.
over a guy with a
You can
normal
have my
job.
luck now.
And there was like a whole of remorse is like, oh, he lost his job. He lost his job because of this.
Wow.
Yep, you do that. You seal the envelope. You seal the envelope.
Right, that one's going in my coat, and then all the other documents are going in the fire.
Well, there's no fire in this room right now.
Oh,
because it's
we can solve that one, can't we?
There's a
I catch
fireplace.
fire?
Not me. I don't have it.
There's a fireplace. In fact, actually, kind of curiously enough, there's a fire pit in the middle of the room surrounded by the bookcases. It's just off right now because there's a heat wave. And Northern Palace is actually very airy. There's lots of just areas where it's open and there's not even windows. So
So there's no like candles about.
there's
Like for
candles.
lights.
There's candles. You're just gonna
Can
like
I,
tip a candle into the box of paperwork?
I mean, yeah. If there's a candle lit, then I'll just
Yeah.
I'll I guess I'll pop it on the floor on the opposite side of the table so he can't see it straight away. Light it up, and then walk towards Adri and be like, "I think we're leaving now." Let me update my
Very well.
items.
And you guys walk up, and then you just like, what's not burning? And then
For good
Oh, no.
measure, sleep.
Jesus God.
roll it.
Have you just burnt down like a records office in the palace and probably killed 3 people?
Do I
I
smell
can't-
burn?
As soon as they take damage, they wake up.
All
Well,
right.
so when they start burning to death,
Oh.
they wake up. Good to know.
It was in a nice, like, old box, so it's like...
The very first round, it's fine. They're probably fine.
It's only a candle.
As soon as their face starts burning, they'll wake up. Don't worry about that.
Fine. Worry about it.
We should travel at top speed back to Wellwall Fort, so that they don't send word before us. But they have no record of this, so problem solved. She's no longer exists in the system. Right?
Okay. We'll
Maybe.
see how it goes, I suppose. There is always my way.
Yes.
Did we just witness a heist movie?
It was a little bit of a heist. It was a
Sleep
mini
is
heist.
actually the best spell.
Sleep is hilarious. The thing about sleep is it only really works against like commoners.
Yeah.
But boy does it work against commoners.
And it was like the strongest spell, like in previous editions, like in first edition. It's like the best. So.
I ain't even mad. So you ride
It's good
out.
now, but
You ride out, right back.
Yeah.
Good.
Top
With
speed.
your forged paperwork in hand.
Only a teeny bit of it's forged. The rest is legit.
it's the best kind of forged.
Yeah, you're just fudging the truth a little bit.
The best
Exactly.
type of correct. Technically correct.
Technically correct. So you ride back. This travel has been going without a hitch because you're right by Norford, and it's a fairly safe area. Even if like maybe you pass someone who's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, watch out for griffins." It's like, yeah, I haven't seen a griffin. You know.
You probably deal with like any bandits in that area ASAP when you're like, oh, there's bandits operating on the route that we take our most dangerous criminals to our prison. See? Penny agrees.
Penny agrees. 1 bark for yes, 2 barks for no. Maybe.
Still works.
I'm gonna roll something.
Unfortunately, you get attacked by an owlbear.
During the night, or during the like, you guys basically spend a day in the small hole.
It's fine because elves don't sleep.
The downside for you two is that you definitely weren't given food during that time. You do both have 1 point of exhaustion. You are released at dinner watch. And at 1 point of exhaustion is going to last through dinner until you sleep, because it's not how it works. And I probably should technically give you more, but I'm nice. But you're released, and maybe you're going to ask why, and straight up the guard who's releasing just do you ask why, or just like, fuck it, I'm out?
I'm not complaining if I'm being released. I'm not giving them any reason to put me back in there.
Yeah, you're both...
Why are you releasing me? Alright.
Well, they know usually the punishment is longer than a day.
Well, I wouldn't have any idea.
yeah.
So I'd just be like, whatever.
So
That's
you're
cool.
escorted back to the mess hall where dinner has stopped. Oh, maybe you'll be able to beg for scraps. No slot for Altis.
Excuse me. Can I just have a little bit of stew, please?
Well, you can have the burnt stuff at the bottom of the pot.
My favourite.
There you go.
This bit's the solidest.
Lady Luck has bared her bosom on me this day, and I just devour.
Ellis just looks at him and sighs.
He, you look over. Well, actually, it's not even like you'd have to do a perception. It's very obvious. The wolf is sitting at his table at normal, and he actually like raises like the wooden mug at Ellis that he has at Ellis, just like a motion.
She just like gives him a bit of a deadpan look and then looks away.
You hear laughter when you look away. Dwarven laughter, big belly booming laughter.
I'm not gonna confront him when I've just gotten out. I'm waiting for a bit until then.
Good. All right. So you're out. Ellis, you don't get any food.
I want to turn to Ellis and like, with the last like mouthful, I'll be like, "Go to kill him," and I like point towards the wolf.
No, do you want to go back in the damn, whatever that place was called, small hole?
I've already told you, I don't care.
Love the way you
In
said
fact,
that.
I think if you killed him, you might even get worse. They might even kill you if you killed him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You want to be able to eat your stew every day, don't you? Oh my God's sake, why am I the brains of this outfit?
I'm not going out. It's like a gown.
I don't even know what you're fucking saying anymore.
Uh,
Oh, I'm so glad that it's Ian who's getting trolled.
so, you, Altis, you actually, over the night, do recover from your exhaustion. Ellis, because you haven't eaten today either. No niceties to you. But the next day, it would be... Actually, you would get to, like, Wellwall very early. Like, probably... I mean, it's summer, so the sun has risen when you get back there the next day, because you've just been going really quickly, like, faster than you probably normally would, like the carriages going normally would. So you, get there quite early in the morning, and imagine you start stabling up, and the guards, the guard at the stable is just like, "You're back."
Yes, I'm here to have my aunt released, I believe.
Okay, I guess you want to talk to the warden again.
Oh, yes.
Not many people
yes.
get to meet her twice. Okay.
I imagine not many people want to. Am I right? Between you and me.
And he walks you in. Same as last time. It's like the guards are like, in fact, the guy is back with the bodyguard. And it's like it just echoes through the processing thing. There's actually people in the processing cell right now. There is a half-orc who appears to be nursing a very black eye. And he kind of like looks at you, like is like, and then gives up, as one does. And then a couple of minutes. It's actually a lot longer than before. Last time it took like 10 minutes for her to come down. This time it actually takes like a straight hour for her.
Has it been a long rest, BT Dubs?
Yes, you would have rested, unless
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't want to sleep over at night.
No, I did. I just wanted to confirm.
You're not an elf. You.
Me.
She comes down like she just looks tired, and she just walks up to you and looks at Adri. It's like, "You're back. You got. Your...
I'm back, and
Yes.
with a letter.
And she'll gesture to the human in that regard.
Why do you have a letter from the palace?"
Because there's already been enough of a delay in releasing my auntie, and I was entrusted with getting her out by my father.
Give me a deception.
Don't fuck this up.
See, usually these letters only get travelled by approved couriers.
Yes,
by the
and
palace.
usually, innocent people aren't sent to jail.
Doesn't matter if they're innocent or not. They're under my walls. And then she just like takes a letter opener, cuts it open, looks at it for like a little while. Straight up puts it down. Has someone else look at it. One of those old dwarven lawkeeper types. And just like, that's strange. Your family must be important if this is the Lady Regent looking into this personally.
Yes, well, it was all quite a misunderstanding. You see, my auntie's a mercenary, much against my father's wishes, and she, well, how can we say? That dwarf, he was a hired killer, but not the good sort.
Do you mean the gnome?
Gnome, it was a gnome, wasn't he?
It was a gnome.
From a very human city.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, means she's getting out tomorrow, if this letter's accurate.
Indeed.
Well, I'll make sure to let the guard know. You can head back to your Kushti lodgings until then, and then she'll be free to leave. You might want to have to send up a cart to pick her up. We won't be doing
Actually,
so.
I was informed we'd be allowed to sleep in the barracks here, after all the trouble we've been caused.
We really don't need anything cushy. Whatever you have available would do.
Give me a deception roll. With advantage
Ooh.
for this one.
Yeah. Tag team.
Somewhere homely would be nice.
My God, Neil! Stop it!
Oh my god.
Don't say stop it when I'm getting you out of jail. Afterwards.
Stop it on principle!
Okay. You can sleep in the barracks. It won't be the sort of thing you're used to, but it'll have a fine bed and a blanket for you to rest your knees on. She motions to Audrey, and then just... Yeah, I'll...
Sorry, what?
Because she meditates.
I tilt her head at that.
Yeah,
Oh, I need to
this
rest my knees.
is a the logic loop that you can see she understands is that elves don't sleep; they meditate,
Like,
and she
wait a second. Okay.
assumes that she's kneeling while she's meditating. It makes
Sure.
sense. It's still weird and maybe racist.
Like, I'd really nod her head at first, like, wait a second.
At this point, she's turned around and started talking to someone else. You thought it was me being weird. Nah, NPC being weird. And starts talking to someone else. Is like, okay, you can stay at the barracks, but there's a whole day until she'll be released tomorrow morning. Are you sure you want to stay here the entire day?
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine.
There's brilliant forests outside for hunting if you want to spend your time.
I can see that you're worried that we'll be bored. And you know, that's very kind of you. So I can understand that you clearly don't want us to be bored. So you can give us a tour. You know, we'll accept that. I've got my bodyguard, your guards in what is clearly a very well-run prison. And, you know, Father might like to learn something from you, if you know what I mean.
Give me a
That would be very nice. I'm not quite good at hunting, so...
Is it a deception or?
Deception. That's deception.
Yeah, no. I just wanted
Oh
to.
my god.
A small tour would be brilliant. What is your father's name again? I'll have to be on the lookout for generous donations.
I'm not sure you really need to know my father's name, but the family name is Rudgarden.
Oh yes.
It's said in the
Course.
paperwork.
Of course, sir. Come with me. Starts like leads you up the walls and is like, here are the walls. Like she doesn't want to fucking do it, but there's also she's not gonna delegate it to anyone else. As you can see, you hear a bell and it's like, that's them going to their morning meal. You may see your aunt if you are lucky. And you do. You see her leaving where you could assume the dormitories are.
Yes.
The wall is only 1 story high, so Ellis and Athos, you can absolutely see him there with the warden being shown around.
They seem very well downtrodden. How do you achieve that?
Oh,
Something to do with that hammer?
You know, she did have a companion with her. Was he taken here as well?
Oh yes, the manservant. What was the name? I can't remember.
I don't remember. It was something...
It's the one that's with her
Shadow,
now.
maybe?
Oh my God.
His name is Altis. He wasn't in the paper. He's been here for a long time.
I don't think that was it. Actually.
No, I'm not sure it was Altis. Maybe it was something else. He does look. There's an
don't recall.
uncanny resemblance, though. They're both great big brutes of men, you know. Have that look.
Mm-hmm. So
Of
you
course
two,
you know.
you two see them having this conversation up on the wall and looking at you two quite obviously.
I'm just gonna be like, I'm not even gonna say it, but I'm just assuming that they're doing something to get me out.
Mm.
Look, it's the people who broke into prison.
I didn't break in for the last time, Kindling.
No, they broke in the first time. Are they helping you?
I assume so.
Are they going to help me?
What reason would they have to help you, Kindling?
Oh.
They don't know you.
You know me.
Oh.
Yes, I know you, but they don't. Whatever they've been doing, I assume they've been doing on their own. I haven't been able to tell them who you are.
Well, when they save you, you can say, "This is my body, Otis."
While you're having this conversation, one of the guards comes up and straight hands Ellis, goes to hand Ellis a letter, but then if you go to tug it, he doesn't let go. It's just like he's showing it, and it's not your documentation. It just has written. It's like Ellis Grey Harbor to be released tomorrow morning. Like, you're getting out tomorrow.
Not a moment too soon.
Yeah, lucky you weren't in here too long. Behave until then. Sometimes people cause trouble before they're gonna get out. Don't be one of them. It's all too easy to do. Keep yourself to yourself and don't let anyone know that you're getting out tomorrow, he says very loudly while you're in the yard.
I would just face palm.
And then walks away.
I'll
So
be like,
we're looking at you guys. You get the letter. You're having the conversation. Do you signal anything to us, or you just?
You see her look very upset. You see her face palm.
I'll notice this and I'll say to Ellis, I'll be like, "Did they know you've got a letter to say you can go? They're idiots. They're breaking in to get you out, and you're getting out."
Yes, Kindling, let's go with that. They're idiots who have tried to break me in and I'm getting out. So they'll get stuck in here with you. Wouldn't that be fun for you?
Are they nice?
Yeah, they're great people.
That's good.
I hope you get to know them well.
Me too.
So, with that kind of sad moment, we're going to take a break real quick. We'll be back in a few minutes.